Hi, just first of all, a disclaimer, and you probably know what I'm gonna say if you've been watching these types of videos, but I'll just put this out there anyway. What I'm about to tell you guys is solely my experience writing my college application, so even if you have like something lower than me, you might get into schools I didn't get into. It is what it is, but yeah, that's my disclaimer for this video. By the way, if you have been watching my videos for a while now, you know that I do a lot of art, but I did not submit my art portfolio to any of the colleges I listed except for RISD, obviously, because I applied to bio and chem related fields for all of these schools. So also, if you're interested in the RISD process, you can watch my RISD portfolio video. I'll link it down below. So as you can tell from the title, I got into UW, so I'm here right now, University of Washington, UCSD, UC Davis, UC Santa Barbara, UC Irvine, University of Toronto. I got a scholarship for the first year, and I also got into UBC, University of British Columbia. Okay, so now let's talk about stats. As for the PSAT, I got a 1420 in 2017 October PSAT because everyone was required to take it. Mine was very useless for me because the PSAT was like a couple weeks after my SAT. So the SAT I submitted was my first SAT score I took in October 2017, which was during the beginning of my junior year, and I got a 1460. I got 780 on math and 680 on English section. Yeah, it's been a while. And I took the October 2017 SAT with essay, and I got a 22 out of 24 on the essay portion. Anyway, I forgot what I got for the specifics. You can look right here. As for my GPA, I got a 4.25 weighted GPA, and it was a 3.81 unweighted. So for classes, I'm just going to talk about highlights. My freshman year, I didn't take any honors classes. Sophomore year, I took honors English. Yeah, that's all. My junior year, I took honors pre-calculus and honors bio. And my senior year, I took honors American literature. So you can see my honors didn't increase because I eventually just added more APs as I went through high school. Also, another thing you have to notice is that I did math, English, French, and at least one science every year for 4 years. I took AP Euro and AP Studio Art 2D my sophomore year. I got a 3 on my 2D portfolio, and I got a 4 on my AP Euro exam. My junior year, I took AP Push, I got a 4. AP Seminar, I got a 3. AP 3D Design, I got a 5. AP Language and Composition, I got a 5. In my senior year, I took AP Calc AB, I got a 4. AP Bio, I got a 4. And AP Drawing, I got a 5. Now for like a slightly less boring section, for extracurriculars I did in high school. One of the main clubs I was part of was one that ran new student orientations every year. I was only part of it for 2 years, but I was an officer both of those years. First year I was a publicity head, and I was in charge of a lot of like the graphic design and like organizing events with the rest of my team. And the second year was my senior year. I was the co-president of the club, and then we just continued to run new student orientations and also fundraisers throughout the year. The second main thing I was part of in high school was Model United Nations. I did this for 4 years, and the first year I didn't do any like office positions, but starting from my second year in MUN, I did some mentoring, I did some chairing, and also I got to go abroad to serve as an officer in Berlin. During my junior year, I was the administrative head for my school's MUN conference. So that was a lot of work, but I did get to learn a lot. For athletics, I did soccer for 3 years, but I'm not going to talk too much about it because I am not good at soccer, not gonna lie. For art, during my senior year, I had the opportunity to go abroad to Bangkok with 4 other people in my school, and we basically attended a bunch of art workshops over the course of 5 days, and also curated an art gallery filled with over 150 different artworks from 6 different international schools. And the last thing I thought was relevant in my extracurriculars was I helped design dresses my junior and senior year for a charity fashion show at my school. So I gathered some tips from my roommates and some friends about college applications, and I kind of wish I had someone tell me all of these tips before. the most important one, you should start really early, like on doing research for colleges. But by early, I mean like sophomore year, okay? Not like when you're in middle school. You should definitely do some research on what requirements you should gather before you start applying for colleges. For example, some schools require like SAT subject tests, and I didn't even know what that was until my junior year, and everyone was pretty much done taking them during their sophomore year. Because your junior year, you should focus on getting like the SAT score you kind of want in order to apply for colleges. But if you're kind of like studying for subject tests and studying for the SAT, like it's just gonna mess up your schedule, so it's better to get it done early. I would definitely recommend not doing SAT anymore during your senior year, because you really should be spending your time writing your applications. If you're stressing over getting the score you want, it might like affect the quality of your essays and the amount of time you put into them. So definitely like spread these things out over the course of 3 years. Another thing about SAT, if you haven't taken it yet, or if you don't really know a lot about it, you should spend the summer of your sophomore year to prepare for SATs. Like once school starts, junior year is gonna be a really hard year, and if you fall behind on work, it's going to affect your grades. Not only your grades, but then it will also in return affect your SAT score. Also, if you have like a college counselor, be sure to talk to them and use them to your advantage. Even if you think your college counselor is bad, they know more than you. Next, about research, you should definitely do more research about the colleges you want to apply to. Don't apply to colleges that you won't go to. Even if you're looking at safeties, don't just pick one because you think you'll get in, but pick one because you think that you would still love going to that school. Things happen, and sometimes you just won't get into any of the schools you wanted to. Even if your test scores or like stats are higher than this college's average, it doesn't mean that you'll get in. It also depends on your essay, your extracurriculars, how you portray yourself to the college admission. Like, don't apply to as many schools as you can, because college apps are freaking expensive. They're like $60 to $100, sometimes even more for each college, so you're gonna end up going to only one, so it's better to just choose them wisely. Okay, my camera is cut off because my SD card ran out of memory, so I just deleted all the files from my last video. Also, this one is like very hard to follow, I guess. Don't prioritize your college name or ranking over the programs the college offers. Like, a school can be really highly ranked, but if you like a certain major, if that school doesn't have a lot of resources for that major, you're not going to end up getting a good education at this university. Instead, maybe you should look into like another one that has a lot of resources, like research opportunities, internships, companies surrounding the school. Learning from personal experience, not really, but from my friends. I know a lot of people don't take into account like the living conditions you'll be dealing with after you get into a college. Like, they sort of just decide one based on the name, and they realize that they don't really like the living conditions, whether that's the dorms or the weather or like how big a school is. Because if you don't, for example, if you don't like somewhere that's cold, and then you end up choosing a college that's cold year round, or it's dark and rainy during the winter, like half the time you go to class it's dark outside, you're gonna feel bad once you're there. And you do have to keep in mind that this is gonna be your home the next 4 years. You also have to do research on college size. You have to see if you really want to get like the real college experience and go to a really big school where all the classes are filled with like 400, 500 people. That's UW. On the other hand, if you really like small discussion-based classes, maybe you should go to a smaller liberal arts college where all the classes are like, you'll get to know all of your peers in your classes instead of just kind of see all these people and never really talk to them. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is college essays. College essays should definitely reflect who you are, not your mom, not your dad, not your teachers, and not your friends. Don't change what you're passionate about because you think colleges will want to see you passionate about something else. You don't have to sound perfect or sound like you're freaking Plato or whatever, because colleges know you're freaking 17 or 18. You just have to show your voice through these essays, or like, yeah. So once you're done with like the first few drafts, if you're able to, maybe show these essays to your teachers, like your English teacher, your history teacher, just some teacher. Make sure they don't take out the voice in your essay though. You can ask them to help you revise based on like grammar or writing style, but the essay in the end should still sound like you and not someone else. Last but not least, for essays, don't go around in circles and put in fillers. Every sentence should have a purpose, meaning that when you take it out, it feels like your essay is missing something, because these college admissions officers read so many essays. If you try to reach the word count and put in some useless sentence, it's gonna make you look not that good of a writer. Don't try to fake being well-rounded. You can be well-rounded in other ways. For example, if you're really passionate about something or if you're really talented in something, show that you're well-rounded in this one field. And another thing is, don't tell colleges about their programs. They know their programs really well. What they want to know is who you are and how you will fit into this school. Okay, a lot of people struggle with this, but set internal deadlines for writing applications. Don't write on your calendar that you want 10 of your applications to be due on one day. Spread them out throughout the month or 2 months before your college apps are due. People get hit by the January deadline really hard, and I would even recommend you finish all your applications and turn them in before winter break even starts, because once it starts, time just flies by really fast. And also, this is just like a completely subjective tip, I guess. Before December, there's the early decision deadline and early admissions deadline. If you're doing EAs and EDs, I would recommend that you apply to 1 or 2 safety schools that have early action. And if you don't know what those are, early action is basically you'll get your results around December and you have the choice to either commit or to leave the decision to later on, whether or not you want to attend your early action schools. As for early decision, you're not allowed to apply to any other early decision school. If you get in, you have to commit. And regular decision is basically you just get all your results around March, and then you can just make your decision later on in the year. Yeah, I personally didn't apply to any early decision schools because I was really indecisive. Yeah, so as usual, if you have any questions, just leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. And if you want to read like some sample essays, I'll put them down below. They're kind of cringy, so I don't know if you really want to read them. Hopefully you enjoyed the video or found this video helpful. Be sure to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in my next video.